The Arctic, a realm where sea and ice fuse into a single merciless wilderness. Here, the wind slices flesh like knives, and a single crack in the frozen sheet can swallow men and vessels whole. Upon the drifting floes, colossal herds of walrus gather symbols of both peril and promise. For the indigenous, this is no sport, it is life itself, bound to food, warmth, and tradition. A single animal, weighing over a ton, is both survival and ceremony. Each hunt becomes a sacred dialogue with the sea, a ritual carved in ice and memory. This is Now Discover. Step with us into the edge of the world, where survival and heritage collide. When hunting season dawns, the silent Arctic coast awakens. Wooden skiffs and motor canoes slice through fractured seas, pushing into waters veined with ice. Eyes sharpened by centuries of practice scan for herds sprawled across floes or rocky shores. Targets are never chosen lightly, but usually adult bulls, scarred veterans weighing up to 2,600 pounds. With tusks as long as a man's arm, these giants can shatter ice or fight predators with lethal force. To face one is to gamble with both strength and fate. The hunter's tools are time-forged, rifles for precision, harpoons tied with ropes for control. The instant steel pierces hide, seconds decide between triumph and tragedy. Ropes must be tied fast, teamwork flawless, because hesitation can cost not only the kill, but lives. Here, man faces both the walrus and the merciless law of the Arctic. The hardest labor begins once the walrus is secured. On the drifting ice or the boat's deck, long knives flash against pale horizons. Thick hide, stronger than leather, is peeled back. It becomes boots, warm coverings, or the skins of drums that will echo during winter rituals. Beneath lies blubber, a dense ocean of fat up to 6 inches thick. Each slab is fuel, twice as rich in energy as beef, keeping lamps burning and bodies alive through months of darkness. Meat is divided with care. Some eaten fresh, the rest dried, smoked, or buried in ice cellars lined with stone. This ensures that families endure long beyond the hunt. Tusks are set aside for carvings, tools, and art. Tendons are pulled, dried, and twisted into bowstrings and fishing lines. Every part holds value. Nothing is wasted. In this unforgiving land, butchering is as sacred as the hunt itself, an act of survival wrapped in reverence. When hunters return, silence gives way to celebration. Heavy blocks of meat and fat are hauled across snow, met by children's laughter breaking the Arctic hush. Fires glow brighter with new oil, lamps painting the village in amber light. The air fills with the scent of sizzling meat, a perfume of survival sweeter than wealth. Families gather, not only to eat, but to remember. Elders tell of storms survived, hunts won by inches, and comrades lost to the hungry sea. The feast becomes communion, songs rise, drums thunder, and dances honor both hunters and prey. Yet the rhythm carries shadows of grief. For some, never returned. Stone markers on the coast remind all that survival has a cost. Still, the people gather, because without these hunts, there is no story, no culture, no tomorrow. Walrus hunting is an inheritance of both tools and duty. Elders teach the young to strike true, to tie knots swiftly, and to divide the catch fairly. Stories told by oil lamp light preserve skills as much as memory. Tales of roaring beasts and crashing waves are survival guides wrapped in legend. Modern tools may shine steel blades, engines, motors, but the old code endures. Nothing wasted, every hunt respected. Outsiders may see only brutality, yet for those who live here, it is balance. Respect, discipline, and ritual are the true weapons against the Arctic's hunger. In the endless night, the hunt reverberates like a heartbeat. Each success feeds families, fuels lamps, and keeps life burning against the cold. For scientists, the walrus is a sentinel of Arctic seas, a measure of environmental health. For communities, it is identity itself, an anchor tying people to land and sea. Yet the future grows fragile. Ice retreats further each year. Walrus herds shift, and the old grounds vanish. Hunts become riskier, harder, more uncertain. To abandon the hunt would mean more than hunger. It would mean erasing memory, surrendering heritage. And so, hunters go still, each journey a stand against forgetting. Scars become medals, stories become shields, and survival itself becomes an act of defiance. This is the White Sea. Cruel, majestic, eternal. Here, the walrus hunt remains a place where man and nature collide, and where life clings to the edge of the ice. What would you do if the shadow before you, a single shark, was worth $50,000? From the chaos of whitecaps it is hauled ashore, hundreds of kilograms in weight, over 4 meters in length. Once the most feared predator of the deep, it now lies motionless on the sand, its powers silenced, while a restless crowd gathers to witness what comes next. In minutes, a ritual begins not in a sterile factory, But on the very beach where sea and land collide, knives will carve, ice will be packed, and raw power will be transformed into profit. For the fisherman, this is fortune. For the ocean, it is loss. Each victory demands a question. Is this survival or destruction? This is From Predator to Profit, $50,000 giant shark butchered on the shore fishing documentary. Subscribe to now discover for untold journeys. Have you ever wondered what it takes to conquer the ocean's top predator, not in fiction, but in raw reality? When a shark of this size strikes, the fight is instant. Steel cable screams under strain, vibrating like a live wire across the deck. One violent lash of its tail can snap ropes, throw men, even threaten to capsize the vessel. Every hook set is a gamble of muscle against instinct born from millions of years. The battle drags on for hours. The shark thrashes, dives, and surges, pulling the boat like driftwood. Salt blinds eyes, bodies lock under pressure, and every second teeters on the edge of disaster. At last, exhaustion slows the predator. Inch by inch, the crew hauls it in until the ruler of the deep lies subdued beneath their boots. Victory, yes, but it comes wrapped in danger. One misstep and the sea would have claimed them instead. Returning to shore, the danger shifts to urgency. The shark must be processed quickly. Its value slips with time. The beach itself becomes the working floor. Factories are too small, equipment too weak, so knives flash where the waves break. To outsiders, it looks brutal. To coastal families, it is life. One shark can mean food, repairs, even schooling for children. A fisherman explains, "This feeds the whole village." His words echo louder than the crowd itself. The butchering begins with precision. The dorsal fin, worth thousands, is sliced first, cleaned, and iced. The liver, massive and slick, is kept aside. It contains squalene, used in vaccines, cosmetics, medicines, a hidden fortune. Then comes the meat-dense, firm, protein-rich, graded and packed for markets near and far. Even skin and cartilage are taken, destined for leather goods, supplements, or industrial use. Nothing is wasted. Piece by piece, predator turns to profit. The transformation is complete. But for the community, it is more than money. It is continuity ritual performed under open sky, in full view of neighbors and children. Each cut proves the sea is given once again, and the risk was not in vain. Yet tension lingers. For some, it is survival. For others, a reminder that even the fiercest predator can be reduced to trade. On this same sand, both truths exist side by side. When knives fall silent, numbers begin to speak. Fins are worth thousands, destined for luxury banquets. Meat, rich in protein, is boxed for shipment. The liver, heavy with squalene, fuels industries far from the sea. Even cartilage and skin become goods. Piece by piece, the sum climbs past $50,000. One shark, one fortune. But scientists warn, shark numbers have fallen by 70% in just 4 decades. Tens of millions are caught each year. Without these predators, ecosystems collapse, prey surge unchecked, reefs weaken, fisheries decline. Governments respond with quotas, bans, sanctuaries. In places like Florida, shark tourism brings millions without bloodshed. Yet markets are relentless. A fin sliced today could appear in a feast across the world within weeks. The paradox is stark. For fishermen, sharks mean survival. For conservationists, they are guardians of the sea. Both truths stand, and both are valid. The sand is stained. Crates are sealed. The crowd drifts away. The ocean's ruler has been reduced to cargo. For fishermen, it is triumph proof that risk brings reward. For scientists, it is warning one more data point in a dangerous decline. For the world, it is a paradox. Survival today may become extinction tomorrow. Children watch quietly at the edge of the crowd, eyes filled with both wonder and unease. They inherit not only the catch, but the question of tomorrow. The sea sustains life, but only if life sustains the sea in return. And so, this story closes with a question. Is a shark worth $50,000 or far more alive, guarding balance in the deep? Today, it was the shark. Tomorrow, another creature will stand in debate. Already, whispers turn north to the ice, where a pale beluga drifts beneath frozen seas. This is From Predator to Profit. $50,000 giant shark butchered on the shore in rare footage fishing documentary. Subscribe to Now Discover for more stories where the ocean's wealth collides with humanity's survival. What drives human beings to face giants of the sea creatures over 20 meters long, weighing more than 100 tons, armed only with fragile boats and sharpened spears? Is it courage, desperation, or simply the will to endure? From the earliest days of seafaring, whale hunting was more than trade. For coastal people, it was survival itself, rituals etched into daily life, a pact with the unforgiving sea. The ocean gave, but always demanded something back. Families ate, villages thrived, but men risked never returning. By the 19th century, whaling exploded. In peak years, more than 40,000 whales were killed. Whale oil, called liquid gold, lit lamps, powered machines, and drove an age before petroleum. This is a saga of courage, salt, sacrifice, and memory. Join us on Now Discover. Subscribe today and step into the untold story of the whale hunt. What does it mean to chase a living giant across the open sea, knowing one wrong move could doom an entire crew? For whalers of the past, this was no adventure. It was a fight for survival. Every voyage began with ritual discipline. Ships reinforced, harpoons sharpened, ropes neatly coiled. Each sailor drilled in his role, while the lookout's eyes swept the horizon. Then came the cry, "There she blows!" A column of spray split the sky. Small boats dropped, oars churning as crews raced toward the looming shadow below. The first strike unleashed chaos. The whale surged, dragging boats in the dreaded Nantucket sleigh ride. Ropes screamed, waves broke over hulls, men clung as the creature pulled them for miles. The struggle could last hours. Salt-burned eyes, muscles tore, and the deck tilted under relentless force. Humanity's endurance was set against millions of years of evolution. History remembers the danger. In 1820, the Essex was rammed by an enraged whale and sunk. 20 sailors drifted helpless. Only 8 survived. Their tragedy became legend. At last, exhaustion slowed the giant. Lines tightened, the sea stilled, and the creature rolled over. No cheer rose. Only silence, and awe for life taken and the weight of its cost. Then came the work. Crews cut vast slabs of blubber, hoisted onto deck for rendering. Great tryworks burned, turning fat into shimmering oil, the fuel of cities oceans away. Meat was salted or dried, sustenance when storms kept men from sea. Bones and baleen became ornaments, tools, even frames for homes. Nothing was wasted. A single whale could yield 50 tons of resources, enough to feed and light entire communities through the winter. Yet survival came at brutal cost. Men froze under bitter winds, worked to collapse, capsized in storms. Some never saw land again. The price of whale oil was measured in barrels and in blood. Still, meaning rose from hardship. Alone, no sailor could triumph. Only through rhythm, trust, and unity could men conquer such a foe. Each whale taken was not just food or fuel, it was proof that humanity's courage and cooperation could wrest survival from the ocean's abyss. Whaling was brutal, uncertain, and unforgiving. But it also testified that in the face of nature's giants, strength alone was not enough. Only solidarity ensured survival. When the whale was finally dragged ashore, the battle ended and the village awoke. The silence of danger gave way to the clamor of life in motion. Children darted along the beach, chasing shadows between barrels and baskets. Women salted meat, rinsed tools, and laid strips out beneath the Sunday. Men hauled heavy loads, their shouts echoing with the rhythm of work. The shore became a festival of labor, where where survival sounded like song. Before feasting came fairness. Elders gathered at the center, dividing the bounty so every family shared in the whale's gift. This was more than distribution, it was a vow of unity. Risk was borne by a few, but its reward fed all. To those who lived by the sea, whales were once floating treasure chests, living banks of food and oil that could sustain an entire village. A successful hunt meant light for lamps, warmth for homes, and safety through winter. The whale was not a prize, but survival itself. The skills of the hunt became heritage. Fathers taught sons to read the waves, to strike with precision, and to trust the sea. Songs and stories carried this knowledge across generations. Even in death, whales became symbols. Bones framed halls, spirits honored in prayer, legacies carved into community life. Across Europe, traces remain. In Norway's Sandefjord Museum, a 21-meter blue whale model looms a monument to ambition, but also to loss. By the 20th century, ambition turned to greed. Relentless hunting drove whale populations down more than 90%. Oceans, once alive with song, fell silent. From collapse came change. Bans, sanctuaries, and conservation efforts now grant whales a fragile chance at recovery. Museums no longer glorify conquest, but teach restraint. Traditions remind us that nature's gifts are not infinite. The lesson is clear. Whales were never just prey. They were teachers, guardians, and sacred beings. Their story is pride and warning alike. The ocean once gave us light, warmth, and survival. The question now is ours: will we return it respect before it is too late?